Hello everyone, welcome to the Booster Shot, your daily dose for GS preparations. By means of this show, I, Ayush Gupta, try and help all the UPSC aspirants with some perspective by covering up issues from the big picture debate of Rajya Sabha TV, the Indian Express's Explained section, and the Science Monitor, a weekly Rajya Sabha TV show. So, in our today's lecture, we are going to cover up the big picture debate of 8th of August. So this debate dealt with maritime security. Why we are discussing this debate? So the reason is that Honorable Prime Minister of the country, Shri Narendra Modi ji, recently chaired a United Nations debate on maritime security. Now, it is very unlikely for a head of state to generally chair such debates. So ये दिखाता है कि हम कितनी importance attach करते हैं maritime security के issue को, and we also need to see as to why are we attaching this importance and why we want the international community to pay attention to this thing. Secondly, we have time and again now in the news remains the concept of Indo-Pacific. So इंडो पैसिफिक का जो इंटायर कॉन्सेप्ट है, जो स्ट्रैटेजिक कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसे डेवलप किया जा रहा है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू चाइना, एंड दिस इज द वेरी रीजन दैट वी नीड टू डिस्कस मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी इन डेप्थ. सो let's start with our today's lecture. So as you know, I generally cover up the entire debate by answering it by means of a question. So what is the question that we have? Write a note on how India is approaching the China challenge in our maritime backyard, that is the Indian Ocean region, the limitations faced by it and encountering Chinese influence. इंडिया को क्या क्या limitations face करनी पड़ रही है चाइना के influence को रोकने के लिए, and what is the way ahead to deal effectively with it. So let us see what could be the introduction to this question. So the Indian Ocean region is a key geostrategic space. So Indian Ocean region को key geostrategic space क्यों कहा जाता है with respect to China? So the reason is, you can see this is India, and over here we have the Persian Gulf, and all the oil-rich Gulf countries are over here: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and here we have the Malacca Strait, through which all the trade happens from Europe and from the oil-rich countries to Asian markets. So this route goes through the Indian Ocean region, and one has to enter the Indian Ocean region in order to conduct all this trade. So China's energy and trade security is dependent on this very region, and therefore, as you already know, that we are in a bit of a situation at the border. So this maritime area presents us with an alternative so as to counterbalance this imbalance of power of ours with China. So चाइना के साथ जो हमारा पावर का imbalance है, वो हम बैलेंस कर सकते हैं by having influence over the Indian Ocean region. It is also the very reason why China is developing the Belt and Road Initiative. So Belt and Road Initiative को चाइना का डेवलप करने का मेन मुद्दा यही है कि so that it can diversify its trade routes and it can diversify its energy security routes. So which is why China is creating all the sorts of land links in the region. So now what has been the Indian approach to this maritime securities issue? So India is presenting not a myopic view but a holistic angle. So हम एक दृष्टि से नहीं देख रहे, हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी की दृष्टि से इस इशू को, मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी की अप्रोच नहीं करते हैं, बट रैदर अ होलिस्टिक इशू. होलिस्टिक क्या होता है? जब हम नॉन ट्रेडिशनल एरियाज को भी इंक्लूड करते हैं हमारे एरियाज ऑफ कंसर्न में. सो ये नॉन ट्रेडिशनल एरियाज कौन से हैं जिनके ऊपर हम एम्फेसिस डाल रहे हैं? So these non-traditional areas, I have classified them in, let's say, 3 points. So the first is constabulary maritime governance and mutually beneficial partnership. Constabulary maritime governance क्या है? So basically is this deals with piracy, issue of piracy and security in high seas. So यहाँ पे सोमालिया पड़ता है अफ्रीका के अंदर. Just a second. So Somalia is basically a failed state, and because of this there is a lot of piracy that happens in this very area. So this very area requires a permanent fleet of ships who are doing rounds in the entire area and preventing any such piracy, any such untoward incident, and therefore India can play an important part in it, and India is also playing an important part in this surveillance operations. Then, and these surveillance operations are very central to our African partners, जिनका ट्रेड उन रूट से मेजर होता है, जैसे कि केन्या. Then, mutually beneficial partnerships. So mutually beneficial partnerships से हम मीन करते हैं responsible maritime connectivity projects. So जैसे कि हम देख रहे हैं, हम इस चीज़ पे इन्फ्लुएंस क्यों दे रहे हैं? This is with respect and in a way we are signaling to the BRI approach, जिसके अंदर चाइना एक डेट ट्रैप डिप्लोमेसी को फॉलो कर रहा है, so as to indulge countries into giving its projects, and later on when the countries are unable to repay back these debt amount, then there is a possibility that China takes over strategic areas of those countries. The Hambantota project of China in Sri Lanka has been of a concern of late with respect to this thing. Then, moving forward, the environment preservation and humanitarian relief. So as you have seen that in the Indian Ocean region, India has been the first responder when it comes to humanitarian relief. And to the countries in this very region, the question of environmental impact, the question of global warming is extremely central, and therefore India is pitching time and again for environmentally sustainable development and environmental preservation also. Then, with respect to maritime governance, India presents itself to be a rule-based country, a rule-abiding country. एंड इसका एग्जाम्पल सबसे बड़ा है कि हमने जो बांग्लादेश के साथ एक एग्रीमेंट किया था, जिसके तहत हमारी एक रीजन of the Indian Ocean region was given under Bangladesh's influence after an international award, and we did that as per international laws willingly. So this shows how India follows a rule-based approach. This is against the Chinese approach, which has a tendency, an expansionist tendency, and is showing of late lack of respect for international law. For example, what happened with China and Philippines, in which the Philippines won an international arbitration, however it was not honored by China. So India is boosting for better maritime governance for the benefit of all. However, we need to also understand that different countries are having different definitions, their own interpretations with respect to UNCLOS, which is the law of the seas by the United Nations. Even with respect to India, India also has certain claims which are not being supported by other countries or by international community. So in this very sphere, India has a bit of back point, and this India needs to see in future. Then, what are the limitations with respect to our efforts to gain influence in the Indian Ocean region? So first of all, as we all know that post-COVID there has been a monetary constraint, so naturally we are light in the pocket. Then, inability to match Chinese bids. So definitely when China is practicing a debt trap policy and it's bidding on projects more than their own financial viability, then no one can actually match them. And perhaps India, because of our own monetary concerns, we can also not match the Chinese bids. Then a willingness on part of Indian Ocean region countries to benefit from Chinese investments, despite being skeptical of Chinese investment. So Chinese strategy of incremental expansion. So Indian Ocean region की countries are, we can also see that there is an influence over them, there is a trend in them so as to accept Chinese investment. So there is a willingness on their part, and definitely they are also skeptical over the Chinese manner of these investments. However, we cannot deny that when money flows in, everyone is attracted. Then India's growing defense architecture in the region and partnerships like Quad makes our pragmatic overtures look like a ploy to IOR countries. So as we see that India is increasing on a daily basis our own naval capacities, and we have also had strategic partnerships like with Quad, and we are continuously having maritime exercises with like-minded countries. So ये जो हमने हमारी पहली अप्रोच आपको बताई थी, जो इंडिया अप्रोच बना रहा है ऑफ helping in non-traditional areas, so this is appearing more like a ploy to Indian Ocean region countries by us to attract them towards our side. So they do not want to get into this conundrum of choosing one or the other side. Then lack of comprehensive alternative to BRI, Belt and Road Initiative जो चाइना लेके आया है, उसके अगेंस्ट अभी तक हम कोई एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अल्टरनेटिव नहीं ला पाए हैं. लास्टली लैक ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑन ग्राउंड, कोई एक मीनिंगफुल प्रोजेक्ट्स हमें ग्राउंड पे लाने पड़ेंगे जिसको देख के अदर कंट्रीज विल स्टार्ट लुकिंग अप टू अस एंड विल गेट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड. सो this is all with respect to the limitations that we are facing. Now most important thing is with respect to the way ahead. अब आगे कैसे बढ़ा जाए, कैसे अपना इन्फ्लुएंस इस रीजन पे एस्टैब्लिश किया जाए. So let us have a look at this. So given the constraints of the system, जैसे कि हमें पता है कि हमारे monetary constraints हैं and other constraints हैं, strategic constraints हैं, then the only way this can be done is by making a system of governance which will target both traditional, that is the security area, and non-traditional goals. So सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नेंस इस तरीके का होना चाहिए जिससे हम एक तीर से दोनों निशाने लगा पाएं. So in doing this, India has to start partnerships with like-minded country, and इसके लिए जो हम मेजर अप्रोच अपना सकते हैं वो है एक plurilateral approach. So basically we have to join hands with other like-minded countries. So India should partner with like-minded countries having stake in the region to jointly bid, finance and build infrastructure. So for example, Sri Lanka के अंदर while bidding for certain projects, India and Japan together started bidding for the projects. In this very manner, although they did not get that project, but we can look up to partnerships so that we can jointly start bidding and expand the capacity of our projects. Then concentrate on non-traditional projects, for example 5G, hydrographic survey, marine resources in partnership with Quad plus one. So जो नॉन स्ट्रेटेजिक एरियाज हैं जिसके अंदर नॉन ट्रेडिशनल प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, जैसे कि 5G की लाइंस बिछानी, हाइड्रोग्राफिक सर्वे करना सो दैट वी कैन सी अबाउट द रिसोर्सेज विच आर देयर इन द मेरी डाउन द सीज, maritime resources in partnership with Quad plus EU. Basically Quad के members plus European Union के members को साथ में लेके we can start investing in such projects, because these projects have a different essence for all the Indian Ocean region countries, because there is a requirement for development in these very areas and they just do not require infrastructure projects. Then complete pending projects such as the India-Africa Growth Corridor and build up connectivity with the help of India-EU Partnership for Indo-Pacific. So यूरोपियन यूनियन के अंदर भी काफ़ी सारी कंट्रीज़ हैं जिनका स्टेक है इस एरिया में, जैसे कि फ्रेंच, ब्रिटेन. So by India-EU partnerships in the Indo-Pacific regions, we should start building up connectivity projects also. Lastly, we have to see and remember this thing that all the countries are pragmatic in their approach and every country fear for its sovereignty. Therefore, what the countries in the Indian Ocean region are looking is for alternatives. Basically, we need to present them with an alternative. It's not that they are extremely tilted towards China. Whensoever an alternative will emerge for them, they will naturally tend to incline towards that alternative. So, in this very manner, through adopting a plurilateral approach, India can build up its muscle in the Indian Ocean region, and then this could serve as a counterbalancing measure towards China's power imbalance with India, in which China is ahead of us. So, this was all with respect to today's lecture. I am not taking up the Indian Express's explained section today because it generally is only talking about the leaderships about Taliban. You may go through that section as well. If you find any doubt with respect to that, do mention those doubts in comment section with this video itself. I am also attaching the PDF of this very lecture for your convenience. Thank you and have a nice day.